Tiffany, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Tell me about how you've been doing last week since last time I saw you.
I'm doing okay. You know,
Okay.
not great, but not worse than before.
Okay. I just wanted to commend you. We ran out of time last session, but I just want to commend you on how well you've been doing. I've seen a lot of progress with you, and I've seen a lot of progress. And last time we had a breakthrough in our session, and you you told me that you do see that you're having a poor relationship between like food and exercise and whatnot. So I think we're gonna embrace that today, and we're gonna come up with some goals to work towards in our session. Is there anything that you'd like to ask me before we get started?
No, I'm ready.
Okay, so during our first session, I had you start a little bit of diary entries. So I want to just check back in with you on how those are going. Can you talk to me a little bit about what you've been writing and, well, it doesn't have to be anything personal, but just how you feel about your journal articles and whatnot.
I like them. It kind of makes me focus in on how I'm feeling when I eat or when I get those anxiety levels raise a little bit. So it really helps me focus in on those problems.
Okay. Could you give me a specific article maybe that helped you with your anxiety?
So when I was watching television with my husband, and a commercial comes on, and just some of the things that they're showing, my anxiety levels start to raise because I do have that problem with my self-image. So
Okay.
my anxiety goes up a little bit, and it helps to sit down and write about it and think about it.
Okay. Do you kind of process what upsets you and maybe what you can do next time during that situation?
Yeah, and my husband will sometimes sit down and like talk to me too, so that I'm not doing it alone. So.
Okay. And I know you had your first couples therapy a week ago, so you don't have to tell me any details about the therapy session. But is it helping? Is that something you'd like to continue?
Yes, I do like it a lot.
Okay, good. And do you like the once a month, or would you like to do maybe more once a week? Or would that be too much?
Maybe twice a month.
Twice a month? Okay, wonderful. And how's your job coming? I know you're with your with fashion and whatnot, so how's that going?
It's good. It's always stressful, so that's another thing I've been working on is trying to de-stress after a long day. And the couples therapy is helping because my husband and I have gotten much closer, and our communication is getting better.
Wonderful. I know you said that he's gone a lot, so how are you working towards kind of communicating more?
We have been doing phone calls a lot more when he's gone.
Okay.
Sometimes we're able to even Skype, so that's nice.
And what about the stress at work too? You said you like to come home and de-stress. Is there anything else besides talking to your husband that you engage in just to calm down, or?
I have a few like go-to movies that I like to watch, or sit down and like read a book. So.
Okay, wonderful. So today, I'm a CBT therapist, so cognitive behavioral therapy is what I like to focus on for treatment goals, and it's goal oriented. So I want this treatment to be what you, I want to gear it towards what you want out of therapy. So I know we're in our fourth session already, and now I really want to focus on you and what you want to see in your life. So for moving forward, like what do you want to see? What are your goals for yourself? Would you say?
I definitely want to work on family relationships. That my mom and my sister and I, none of us are really very close anymore. Just continuing to work on my husband and I's relationship. And then I do really want to focus on a healthier view about my body, my self-image, and my food.
So I know during our first session, when I was asking you kind of our general intake questions, you said that you stick to one meal a day, one small meal, and also you would exercise about twice a day, and you'd weigh yourself in the morning and at night. So I want to focus on that, and I think maybe if we change this around a little bit, we can work towards your goals and your self image, and try and relieve a little bit of that anxiety that you have. So I know you're writing your diary entry right now, and you said that they are helping, that you feel that they're really changing kind of your aspect, and your like you can actually see your emotions and what you're processing. So I was thinking it would be really beneficial to you to maybe add in every day like a food diary as well. Do you think this would help?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking it would be nice to kind of keep track of food intake during the day, and also write how you feel during every time you eat. So kind of come up with a little food plan and ways to add a little bit of nutrition in there, and then you can also feel confident about what you're eating, and be aware of those trigger foods that might upset you, that we can help treat the anxiety with that. Does that sound good? Okay. Let's see here. Are there any concerns with that? Any concerns about writing food down or tracking or anything?
I'd like to give it a try, and
Okay.
if it becomes a problem,
Mhm.
maybe see if there's a different option for me.
Okay. Yeah. And then how would you feel about um, this is all up to you, but how would you feel about maybe adding in a second meal a day potentially?
I could give it a try.
Give it a try? Okay, that would be wonderful. Because I know you're sticking to more low calorie foods and whatnot, and I know you said that you acknowledged that you had some negative attitudes towards eating, and I think this might help to slowly integrate more foods into your diet as well. That'd be something. Okay. So how has your exercise been going?
I'm still sticking to my 2 times a day as often
Okay.
as I can.
Okay.
Mhm.
Have you like felt dizzier at all? I know you talked about being hospitalized
I do
before.
get a little lightheaded sometimes,
Okay.
but I just try and drink a lot of water, and it seems to make the symptoms go away a little bit.
How would you feel about maybe cutting it down to one cardio session a day, and maybe stretching or finding a class or whatnot for yoga or something that can help you also de-stress as well, but not so maybe harsh on your body?
I could look into something like that.
Would that be something that would interest you? Yeah. So it's all everything's in moderation. I'm not trying for you to just stop exercising or whatnot. I just want to find a good medium where we can meet in the middle and figure out what would be best for you and your body as well. Um, I know you also discussed how your husband would often say negative things to you coming back from the gym about how you work out too much and whatnot. How have you been reacting to this lately since you've had your couples therapy and you're communicating more?
He still makes comments. They're a little less harsh. It's more out of concern. He is trying himself to understand like where I'm at,
Okay.
and so we like to talk about it, and then I tend to try and write it down in those
Write it
journals.
down.
and help me do it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm just taking quick notes real fast. So I know one of your goals is to build a closer family relationship, especially with your mother and your sister. So the last time we talked about your sister, you haven't talked to her in about 6 to 7 months. Have you talked to her since?
We haven't talked on the phone.
Okay.
We've emailed a couple of times. She knows that I'm trying to get help.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
How would you feel if seeing her in person, or maybe meeting up, or Skyping at least, something like that?
Yeah, I could try Skyping.
Okay, that would be wonderful. So how did she react when you told her about trying to find treatment?
She was supportive of it.
Supportive. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the supportive?
Since it was only over email, I told her that I was coming here, and because my husband was concerned, and she agreed, and she thought it would be healthy for me, and
Okay. And then what about your mom? I know you talk to her a lot, but you also you still struggle with that because I know she said that she would criticize you when you were younger, and you still hold on to that. When was the last time you talked to your mom?
I talked to her probably last week.
Last week.
sometime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does she know you're seeing a therapist?
No, I haven't told her.
I told her. Okay. Do you plan on telling her about treatment?
I worry that she's gonna judge me and
Okay.
she might not have the most supportive attitude, and I don't want that to affect me coming back.
Okay. So you feel like you can tell your sister, but you just struggle with communicating with your mom more about that. Okay. How would you go about that? Like, what if she did judge you? What if you did feel those negative things? How would you react?
I would probably shut down. My
Okay.
anxiety levels might rise a little bit there.
Is there any instance where she did judge you for something that you did, or any previous experiences like this?
Yeah, she's very judgmental about a lot of things that she may not
Okay.
agree with. So
Okay. I'd like to come back to this because I think it would be really important to try and, I know you communicate with your mother a lot, but it would be really nice to be able to develop communication skills with her where you can feel like you can both work towards not being judgmental with each other, and also finding a way to talk to your mom and how telling her about how you're struggling with maybe anxiety or eating or problems like that, and coming to an agreement where she will not judge you and you can have like this open space to discuss what's really going on. So I think that would be really nice. And I know you said your father's not around a lot because of work. Um, would you like a close relationship with your father?
yeah, I don't talk to him very often, but we've never had any serious issues with our relationship.
Okay. Yeah, it might be nice to kind of reach out to him. Do you feel like he would react the same way as your mother, or would it be different?
I think he'd be more supportive
More
of
supportive.
me. He worries about me.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to reach out to him, and then that might make you feel a little bit better about kind of talking to your mom as well after that. So, let's see here. How would you rate your anxiety over the past week? So I know you said that you've been anxious, and especially when it comes to food and whatnot in your diet. What would you say your anxiety level is right now, from 1 to 10? 10 being very anxious.
Right now I'm probably sitting right in the middle of 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Mhm.
Okay. And what would you say your anxiety level is when you're eating?
It goes up quite a bit, probably about an 8, 9.
Okay. And I know you said that you like to work out a second time after you eat your meal. What would you say your anxiety is after working out?
I feel really good after working out.
Really
So
good.
it goes down to probably like a 3 or 4.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna say we should target for that 3 to 4 range, because that'd be really great for you. And I think that exercise is a great tool to have, but just in moderation. So that's why I want to try and gear towards exercising once a day, and maybe adding in some stretches or yoga or something that's not so that won't make you dizzy or whatnot, because 2 hours might be a lot for right now, especially with what you're eating. So is that something that's all right? I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but okay. What are other ways that you could potentially add to your life that would help you de-stress?
It would help more if my husband was home more often.
Home more often?
It's hard when I'm home alone, and my anxiety goes up and I don't really have somebody to talk to. If I can fix my relationships with my sister and my mom, that would be nice too, to have a better communication and they can help me through when my anxiety gets high.
I think now that you've told your sister a little bit more about you and what's going on, she's more willing to help as well. And you can always reach out to her. So I would say, yeah, it would be great when you're feeling stressed or anxious to reach out to your sister. And also, it sounds like your dad's a great person too to talk to, and I'm sure he enjoys hearing from you too. Okay. See. I know you said during our first session that you weigh yourself in the morning and at night. Has this still been routine over the past couple of weeks? Okay. How would you feel about maybe weighing yourself once a day?
I could try.
You could try. Okay. Yeah, I just want to check back in. You don't have to write down numbers or anything. I just want you to kind of hold on to what you're feeling when you get on that scale. Maybe you try and do it try and lower it to in the mornings every day, but then try and avoid weighing yourself before bed, and then you don't have to ruminate on it when you're falling asleep or whatnot. Would you say that would be something that you would like to try? Is this something?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. So now I want to target more of your triggers and what upsets you and what we can work towards from that. So maybe in the past week, what has been something that made you really anxious or just stressed out with eating or exercise or even in your relationships?
My husband wanted to take me out on a date
Mm-hmm.
to a restaurant, and I have a more difficult time out in public because everyone's looking, and if I don't eat very much, they're always watching me, and so I felt really anxious at the restaurant.
Okay. So what do you mean everyone's watching you?
Like the servers and the people, they look at me and they notice like my plate is still full an hour later when my husband is done eating, and you can just see it in their eyes.
Has anyone made a comment to you about this?
No.
No. Okay. Did you eat anything when you go out?
Yeah, I kind of pick at a couple bites.
Mm-hmm.
More, I'm like moving my food around my plate a little bit.
Okay. What do you usually order?
I try and go for something that's just like chicken and vegetables.
Okay. And are you still sticking to 1 meal a day?
Yep.
Okay. So when you're going out with your husband, is it you don't like people watching you eat? I know that was one thing that came up earlier. So you don't, okay. But for instance, if you were in a private room with your husband, eating dinner, would that be any different?
My anxiety goes up, but not quite as much. He knows that I don't eat very much, so it's something that like our relationship is used to.
Okay.
So I don't feel as uncomfortable.
Okay. Okay. And how often would you say you go out to eat?
He likes to try and take me out like every couple months. Since he has gone so often, it's something special for him.
Okay. Okay. And then any other triggers, anything else that's kind of come up in the past week?
Not this week, no.
Not this week, okay. Would you say you're feeling more anxious or less anxious since we started?
A little less anxious.
Less anxious, okay. And what do you think has helped you feel less anxious? What have we been doing working in the room that you could say you see outside of our therapy session?
The fact that it's been brought to light and I can kind of actually see when my anxiety goes up, and learning some tools that help me manage it a little better.
Okay. Like what kind of tools would you say?
Having better communication about them, instead of just keeping it to myself and stewing in it, I can write it down and kind of let it release.
I'm glad those diary entries are helping. I think it would be nice to continue on because I can see that this is helping your progress a little bit. Does your husband know about these journal articles?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What would you say you'd like to specifically target in here? Is there anything else that we can work towards? Make you feel just better, less anxious?
Yeah, just lowering my anxiety, my communication skills, just learning the tools that I need to be healthier.
Okay. So today we're gonna put together a little bit of a psychotherapy plan. So this is, like I said, I'm a CBT therapist, so I am geared towards working towards altering your behaviors, but based on your goals. So we're going to change your patterns of behavior that are behind your, your difficulties with food and exercise and whatnot, and change the way that you feel. So I think this will help you kind of alter your feelings when it comes to this. So first, I know you said that you told me that you do have this kind of negative relationship with food and exercise. So I think what we have to do first is eliminate that rumination. So I know you said that you always kind of focus on food and eating and when you have to exercise and whatnot, right? Okay. And then you also mentioned at the beginning about the anxiety and kind of feeling overwhelmed as well. Okay. Have you ever thought about maybe joining a social group? Why not? I know you just recently moved here from California. So would you think it would be a good idea to maybe be part of a group?
Yeah. I haven't ever, I'm not familiar with any specific groups or anything, though.
Okay. I know there's a few websites where it's group meetups specifically geared towards activities that you're interested in. And like, I mean, they have yoga groups, they have outdoors groups and whatnot. So that might be something that would help you kind of branch out and make friends and make these relationships that will help you too. And then how would you say your time management is lately?
Not great.
Okay.
I work a lot and then trying to fit in the gym twice a day. It's a little stressful.
Okay. Could you tell me like your typical work day?
So usually I'll wake up at 5:30 or 6, get ready for the gym, come home, have like, a small meal, and then I work all day, super busy. I'm always on the phone, on the computer, and then probably about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, depending on the workday. I'll try and go to the gym again. And then I'm usually pretty exhausted after, so I'll go to bed.
Go to bed after. And when do you usually fit in time to talk to your husband or make those phone calls to your family?
Sometimes I get like a 30-minute lunch break
Okay.
in the day that I can try and call, or right before bed after the gym.
Okay. So are you working over 40 hours a week, would you say?
Probably, yeah.
And is this something you negotiated with your boss, or is it something that you want to do?
It's just kind of part of the job in the fashion industry. There's a lot of different countries, so hours aren't really set in stone. It just depends on the week and how busy the season is.
Are you close to your boss at all?
Not really.
Not really.
It's a work relationship, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of pressure from my boss. Mm-hmm.
Has it been better since you moved out of state and you're working more online?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not in the office working every day, so you can't really scold me or, like throw a lot more at me because I'm not actually there.
So would you say you're happier with your job now that you moved?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever considered talking to him and maybe discussing these stressors and what you'd like to get out of your job for you to be more satisfied with your job?
No, he's not really like the type that
Not the type.
I feel comfortable just talking to.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of set in his ways and the way that the business runs.
Do you have any other coworkers that you're close to or talk to?
I had one when I was there, but ever since I moved, I haven't really talked to her very much.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you talked to her?
Probably about a month and a half ago.
Would you say she agrees with? Is she struggling with, long work hours and similar things to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it might be a good idea to kind of reach out to her and maybe see what she's doing as well when it comes to working long hours, and see if she has any tips or if she's talked to the boss or anything. Yeah, that might help. Would that be something you'd be up for? With that? Okay. And also that kind of goes along with the whole social aspect too. Reaching out to people you haven't talked to in a while and trying to build up these relationships as well. I think it would be really nice for you. You have your journal and your food journal and whatnot, but keeping track of scheduling every day. Do you have a planner?
I do.
You do have a planner. Okay. I think maybe adding in some free time, some you time besides the gym. Once you eliminate one, you work towards eliminating one of the gym sessions a day. You can schedule in a little bit of free time for you. You talked a little bit about movies and reading and whatnot. So just time where you can actually decompress, I would say. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you've been working at this job for, you said about 5 years, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you doing before this job?
I was in the same industry, just lower down, like an intern for a fashion magazine.
Would you say you've always kind of had a busy life? You like to stay busy?
Yeah, I'm definitely a busybody.
Okay. Do you think this contributes to your stress? Do you think this is a big impact?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a huge impact.
I think that's what would be great about just taking even just 30 minutes of you time a day, just where you can do what you want to do and not focus on your stressful career. Because I know you mentioned it can get really overwhelming. So I think just taking a step back and taking time for you would be something that would really help. So what do you, I know your husband's out of town a lot, but what do you and your husband do? Do you ever do anything besides like eating out or Any activities or whatnot?
Yeah, nothing crazy. We usually stay home a little bit more when he's there and watch some of those movies and just talk.
Okay.
There's not a ton of time in either of our days, so.
Mhm. I think if you set some free time and he set some free time during those days, it would be really nice for you to kind of share in like activity time for
Mhm.
you and help build a relationship. But I'm really happy that you're communicating better and you said that this is a big change for you lately. So that's great. I'm gonna move more towards back towards eating and whatnot. So developing more of a healthy eating pattern, you would say, because you said last session that you would be up to kind of change your eating and you're open to new ideas
Mhm.
towards that. Um, so right now you're eating one meal a day, and I'd like to increase that to maybe adding another meal if that's something that you're up for.
We can try it.
You can try it, okay? And what are foods that you try and avoid, would you say?
Anything that's like high calories, high carbs, butter, salt,
Okay.
the usual.
Yeah. So I want to work towards integrating more foods into your diet because I know you're limited to just foods and vegetables and um, like low caloric foods like that.
Mhm.
So how would you feel about adding more, maybe more protein to your diet or a little bit more calories, but healthy calories? We're not talking about junk food or anything like that.
Yeah, I can try some
Okay.
more protein.
Okay, what would be something you would be willing to add to your diet?
I could add just, plain chicken or maybe if there are like some beans that I like.
Okay. Yeah, so over the next week, I want you to maybe try out go grocery shopping and find some foods that have some protein or a little bit more calories, but that are healthy, and see if you can add that in maybe once every couple of days, just to add to your diet.
Mhm.
So okay. Um, okay. Okay. So that just wraps up our time today. So is next week, Monday at the same time work for you? Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna take note of that. Is there any other questions that you have for me?
I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. It was nice seeing you.
Thank you.